Hello, I'm attorney Dan Marr from the Nashua law firm of Hamilton and Kerrigan here in Nashua, New Hampshire, and I've been practicing law here for approximately 36 years, both in New Hampshire and then also in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for about 28 or more years. And during that period of time, I've dealt with a lot of real estate matters. I wanted to talk today about, in New Hampshire, when you are purchasing your home and the seller hides from you something that's really important. I've had situations where what you can do about it. I've had situations where somebody has built the upstairs and they didn't get it permitted and they didn't put heat upstairs, or they did they know about some serious flooding problems, they don't reveal it, or perhaps there's a well that they've had numerous problems with and they haven't revealed those things. Generally, you start off with the proposition that most buyers are looking at this and they're saying, well, geez, because I was trying to be competitive in this market, I might have waived the inspection or waived the right to do anything with that, and the inspector didn't catch it. The inspectors generally will have a waiver language in their documents that don't give you much rights to go after the inspector, and the inspector can only see what's obvious. They're not going to break into walls, and they're generally not going to do the permitting issues. So you're stuck with, you bought the house and you maybe even waived inspections, and the seller or the seller's broker is saying, we're not going to do anything about this because you waived inspections. Not so much. Stop with that. Take first a hard look at the seller's disclosure that was required. All brokers make you do a seller's disclosure. You'll see right in your purchase and sale agreement, it's in a rectangle that you signed off on, that you've looked at the seller's disclosure, and you have gotten this seller's disclosure. It might be packed into your stuff, but when you're looking at this house, you did look at that and see what was going on. It'll tell you things like whether or not it's on town water, whether or not there's any work that was done on the property that wasn't permitted, whether or not there was a problem with a well. It won't tell you things like, does the dishwasher work? But look through carefully and see what's in there, because the seller's disclosure is to the best of the seller's knowledge. But if the seller's lying to you, not telling you something, it's in there. They've said, I had a case where somebody said there was no plumbing, there was no well issues, and the well company had came several times and said, you need a replacement of the well. Well, that was going to be an expensive fix. I literally had a case where the upstairs, this third floor, I think it was, that was finished off, didn't have any heat. Now, the buyer was kicking themselves because they didn't realize that there wasn't any heat registers in the upstairs, but they were deceived, and they have some cause of action there. So you look carefully at the questions that are asked in the seller's disclosure, and if there's something that the seller knew about and they didn't disclose. I've gone after people for fraud. I'm not talking about something that's a couple of $1,000, $2,000, $4,000. I'm talking something that's major, like a well replacement or no heating upstairs, or other issues. Perhaps one of the risks that if you have work that was done wasn't permitted, you don't know how your town's going to react to it. Sometimes the town will allow you to have a contractor come in that they trust to look at it and say, yes, I would have done the work the same way, and then they may permit it retroactively, or other situations they may require you to rip out stuff. An example is plumbing down in the basement, the bathroom basement. That can be a problem if it's not permitted properly. So all of those issues, if you have those types of issues, the first thing you want to do, if the seller's not going to be making any accommodations to you after the closing, is to take a look at that seller disclosure. You're not just out of luck because you didn't have an inspection or the inspector did do the work and didn't catch it. If the seller has lied to you by saying that there wasn't any problems with the well when there was a well issue, or that everything was permitted that was done when it wasn't permitted, and particularly that if that lack of permitting caused you to have a defective house, like no heating on the second floor or third floor, you have some remedies there. So think that through. I've dealt with this work issue before. I'm at Dan Marr at Hamilton and Kerrigan at 603-883-5501, 603-883-5501. And if it's a big enough matter to to deal with perhaps it might just be starting with a letter, but if the seller's not willing to move litigation, you have to have enough damage, frankly, to make it worthwhile to litigate the matter. But sometimes these things happen, and I've had a variety of these cases where it's been worth going forward, and then usually you settle a case beforehand, but if you need to, you can try the case. So Dan Marr, 603-883-5501. Also check out our website, NashvilleLaw.com. If you go to my bio, you can click to my YouTube page where we have all of my weekly vlogs, and I'm happy to help you if the opportunity arises. Again, Dan Marr, 603-883-5501. Thank you.